I would like to thank the organizers and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for organizing this. I come from Lebanon, a thousand of years old tiny country on the eastern shores of the Mediterranean, a place mentioned in the Old Testament, the Holy Bible, and the Holy Quran, where diverse religions survive together. The alphabet was created there in Byblos, the oldest populated organized city in history. Many civilizations passed through. Hence, our Lebanese culture is naturally a mosaic, a very rich of similarities and differences. That brings me to our subject, women, faith, and culture, which covers many issues. Starting with the issues of difference women make within society and international relations, we have been lucky in Lebanon to have had the representatives of the UN and the EU for many years to be females. Their job is not an easy one when they have to face not only local issues, but relatively recently the influx of Iraqi displaced communities in 2009, and later in 2011, Syrians displaced from their country finding refuge in Lebanon. Their number exceeded 1.8 million at one time in a country which population is less than 5 million. Many of foreign ambassadors to Lebanon are females, both from Americas, Europe, and Eastern Hemisphere. This has created a different way of dealing with issues related to demography in general and women in particular. Their new approaches have enhanced the understanding of the local culture, habits, and traditions. Lebanese women, they do succeed in their own businesses or jobs, as many hold high positions in banks, investment companies, education, and others. Yet, in whatever field they operate, they are governed by the same unfair laws that marginalize them, being the second gender and not enjoying rights with men. No matter to which religion you belong, general issues such as salaries, promotions, maternity leave, etc., are faced by everyone. Unfortunately, we do not have in Lebanon a civil personal status law that applies to all citizens. So diverse confessional canonic religious laws governs personal matters like marriage, inheritance, divorce, custody, and disputes that arise in connection therewith are settled by religious courts. Therefore, you can imagine how with 18 different religious sects and almost as many religious courts, disputes are being sorted out. A civil common law would have brought about much more equality, particularly with respect to eliminating gender-related discrimination. In Lebanon, over 50% of the populations are females, yet the ratio of those of them who are working age is disproportional with that of males, and barely 10% of the high positions in companies. In official public positions, it is even worse. We have only 6 females out of the 128 members that constitute the Lebanese parliament. This ratio is almost entirely in favor of males in the Council of Ministers, where we currently have 1 woman in office versus 29 men. Therefore, women have little to say in policy making. In some of the civil services sectors, women have outnumbered the men, like in the bar associations and others. Of course, there are other means for women to have their voices heard. The civil society has a substantial number of female activists. They are the steering force behind reforms and the backbone of the society in dealing with women and children issues, from health to education to poverty, and the list goes on. The National Commission of Lebanese Women was formed 30 years ago to act as an advisor to the Council of Ministers with access to parliamentary committees. They work with international organizations in preparing reports to the UN and the World Bank. They work with local communities and municipalities to empower women in politics and economy, hoping that with these active members who belong to all religious groups and political parties, accomplishing together the best for the women in the country. The condition of women will only improve with their work. As a member of the NCLW, I can confirm firsthand that there's a lot of cooperation amongst all to get women to where they should be. On another matter, we in Lebanon have recently joined the United Nations Global Compact. We have our own Lebanese network comprising of over 130 companies, all executing the UNESCO 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The network has a council comprised of representatives of the 17 goals, each member leading the promotion of one of them. Leading Goal 5 is a privilege to me. Gender equality. I'm aiming not only calling for equality, but also calling for attaining all goals. Makhzoumi Foundation has for over 20 years relentlessly worked towards sustainability, which is only achieved when there is no poverty, when there is peace, economic progress, and healthy surroundings. We are citizens of the world. We share the land, air, and water. What saves us is to partner and work together as one team. I would like to end on a note, little story. One day there was a roundtable discussion on religions and morals, brought together a group of religious men from different beliefs, religions, and sects. Among them is the Tibetan wise man Tenzin Gyatso, the current supreme spiritual leader of Tibetan Buddhism, nicknamed Dalai Lama. At the end of the discussion, a cleric asked the Dalai Lama, "Your Eminence, what are the best religions from your point of view?" Of course, he thought he would say Tibetan Buddhism is the best, or at least Eastern religions that preceded Christianity centuries ago. However, Dalai Lama smiled and then said quietly, "The best belief is that which makes you a better person and makes you closer to the image of God on earth." The cleric insisted on the question, saying, "And what is the belief that makes man a better person?" The Dalai Lama replied, "It is the belief that makes you more merciful, more aware, more sensitive, less biased, less racism, more loving, cleaner tongue, more humane, more responsible, and have ethics. The religion that makes you all this is the best religion." The cleric was silent, taken by the wise answer, which is undebatable. However, Dalai Lama continued, "My friend, I'm not interested in your belief, religion, or sect, or if you are religious or not. What really matters to me is your behavior before yourself, then before your peers, then before your family, then before your community, then before the world, because the collection of all the above will shape your entity and your image before." I will end on that, and thank you.